Hello everyone, this is White Wolf, and we are going live. And I wanted to do this live and talk about what we're eliminating in the collective when it comes to fear, when it comes to judgment, when it comes to hatred, and allowing ourselves to not give into the power of hatred, give into the power of judgment, giving into the power of that false illusion and that distortion, and seeing how we're losing the attachment of it, and we're actually losing the emotional attachment of it, and we're losing the understanding of why we're experiencing that judgment, or why it becomes a part of our lives, or how it comes into the vicinity of us even experiencing it, and understanding that letting go of that judgment, letting go of that hatred inside of ourselves, and letting go of viewing that through the world's lenses, but also how we view the world, and changing it and seeing how the imagination overwhelms our presence because we allow ourselves to let go of fear, judgment, lack, unworthiness in this moment, because we're changing our view and the direction and the theme of what we're experiencing, changing our experience, but also changing the attachment of our experiences that are attached to the illusions that we're assuming ourselves to be. So allowing ourselves to grow is allowing ourselves that at any point in time when we acknowledge our thoughts, our emotions, the way that we're acting, the way that we're going about a specific thing in our life, we see that if it's a really smart thing to do or if it's an aligned thing to do, and understanding that every time that we're not aligned, it kind of lets us know and kind of gives us a subtle reminder to snap back into alignment and to come and find our center and find our resonance and find out what we're supposed to do here. So we allow ourselves to see that it's not the world changing. The world changes all the time and it's infinite in its nature. But we have to change and allow ourselves to impart that change into the world. And seeing that when we do this, when we let go of judgment, when we let go of fear, when we let go of judging ourselves, of judging others, we allow ourselves to tap into something called love. We allow ourselves to give ourselves that sense of peace of mind, body, and spirit. But we also allow ourselves to lose attachments to illusions and forms that we're assuming ourselves to be. And every time that we do this, we fine-tune our gifts. We align ourselves to what we really need to do at this moment in time. And we try to find ways to generate different patterns, to generate different sensations, but also to see that our energy has to be our energy. And aligning to that temple of God, that Shekinah glory of God, will allow us to align with our energy, and only what's surrounded by us is our energy. So I was feeling like this message was coming through very strongly about eliminating fear, judgment, lack, and the way that the world lives, because we're very chaotic. But there is a continuity to chaos, to confusion, to finding that new intention within ourselves, and to see how we allow ourselves to attract so that we're able to multiply in this situation. So every time that we eliminate fear, being fearful of something, lacking of something, judging ourselves, putting ourselves in a box or a category, every time that we do this, we're transcending the human conditioning that we're experiencing. So every time that we transcend the human condition, we are transcending the timelines and also the future prophetic timelines and the experiences that we're attracting to ourselves. So every time that we eliminate fear, lack of something, lack of an awareness, lack of drive, every time that we do this, we change how we feel. We change how we sense. We change how we emote. We change how we react to everything. And as we change how we react to everything, we change how we come into balance with everything that we're trying to balance our energy with, whether it's fear, intimidation, or wanting to have more fulfillment and wanting to be happy within our life. That means that we're trying to design our lives in the way that we want to choose it, the way that we want to tap into that life, in the way that we want to manifest that life and generate it into existence as the appearance of light. So when we lose the identification of fear, of judgment, of ridicule, or projections, because a lot of times people can project a lot of things over your family, your friends, being bullied as a kid, you can have that projected on you. You can take the identification of it. But there's a way to let go of that. There's a way of letting go of the identification of that false filter. And when we allow ourselves to do this, we allow ourselves to see past the illusions, the sense perceptions, the things that make us really, really triggered, and then we're able to have acknowledge it towards it. But then we're able to see that the way we go about life is by our design. It's by what we're projecting, what we're summoning, what we're putting out there in terms of energy, in terms of aligning to our consciousness. And every time that there's not alignment, we look at ways to be aligned, to have direction, to have continuity, but also to have a consistency and a repetition so that you're able to have some structure within your life so that you're eliminating that fear, that lack, that judgment, that lack of drive, or lack of motivation. Because that could be the very thing that holds us back, or doesn't allow us to try new things, or doesn't allow us to actually go for something new within our lives. So every time that we breach another density of consciousness, we allow ourselves to see that everything changes, everything is more heightened, everything is more aware, the triggers get more intense, but also emotionally everything gets more intense. But there's a way to empower those emotions, those sense perceptions, everything that we're sensing and feeling. So understanding this is that eliminating fear, eliminating lack, eliminating a false sense of presence will allow ourselves to have a presence of awareness, and then it'll allow us to actually have something that we can connect to, something that we can focus on, and something that we can really relate to. Because I do think that we need some familiarity and relatability within our existence. So being able to eliminate fear, eliminate judgment, eliminate having that filter arise, and it comes up and it tries to make you feel like you are this person or are this thing, or you are these belief systems, or you are the past trauma. But actually, those things that we experience, we chose those things, and we also experience them for a reason, because they give us so much learning, and they give us so much teaching, and they give us so much ways to come back into balance. We're coming back to ourselves. We're finding the way back. And we're having self-remembrance so that we're able to delve deep into ourselves, so that we're aligning to that power. We're aligning to the power that created us, but also we're aligning to the power that already knew us, even though it already knew us, but it's finding its way back. So every time that it does that, every time that it finds its way back to ourselves, we find out that nothing can change unless we choose to change it, unless we choose to transmute the energy and choose to transform in this moment. To make this a transformative moment is you making the decision and the choice to make this the most impactful moment, to make this the most aligned moment, but also to make this moment the most meaningful within your creation. So allowing yourself to eliminate that is just making yourself, in a sense, transform, transmute, come back into balance with who you really are, and finding how your personality can change with your spirituality, and changing with everything that we're projecting out into awareness. Because awareness can only know awareness. It can't know distortion and awareness. So there has to be a balancing of the energies. It's kind of like you put the batteries in your remote and you want it to work, but you put your batteries in the wrong way and you didn't do the minus and the plus sign. So we always have something called a dimensional shift of positive and negative, of cause and effect, of reflecting back to ourselves. But also at the same time, there's not a right or wrong way about spirituality. That's what the beautiful thing is about spirituality. You see, everything in life, everybody bases off right or wrong, or this or that. But it's either light or dark. So it's kind of somewhere in between heaven and hell. It's somewhere in between your best moments and somewhere in between your messiest moments. So we have to balance out which moments or which frequencies we want to emanate. But also, when we're doing energetic work, we don't realize that we're eliminating that fear and that judgment and that lack of drive and that lack of awareness. Every time that we do something meditatively, rather it's psychic readings, rather we're doing healing energy, which I'm going to do at the end of this live. Every time that we do that, every time that we share within the universe is being delivered from something, but also the universe is gaining something. It means that we're all awakening to this consciousness and to this understanding that we're all coming back into balance with who we really are in this moment. So in this moment, we have the ability to give back to the earth. We have the ability to transform the earth. We have the ability to be that power. But the power has great responsibility and accountability, and we reflect what we want to receive in life. We reflect what is being reflected back to us. So a lot of the times, I don't know if you've ever had someone point a finger at you, not just myself. But if someone has pointed a finger at you in your life, that means that they have had that pointed right back at them. So that's how we have to treat it. And we can't give into the hate, we can't give into the energy, and just because people are in our homes, we can't give into that empathic energy. Even though that we're open to it and we're aware of it, just because we're vulnerable doesn't mean that we're everybody's energetic punching bag either. So there's a fine balance of this shit is really real. When it gets really, really real when you really level up, when you really follow your destiny, and also when you give your life to God and you follow your anointing and your gifting. I don't think people really explain that, but also just in everyday life, we experience this. No matter how it feels, no matter how many times you heal, no matter how many times you learn that lesson, you learn that pattern. But this time, in this moment in time, you're losing the attachment of form. You're having a return to form as self-remembrance, as recalibrating your energies, and finally grounding yourself back into deep middle Mother Gaia Earth. Meaning that the way that we go about life, the way that we live, we should live it in harmony. We should live it in peace. Just because someone doesn't agree with you doesn't mean you have to set them straight. That's what the world's been doing. You see in news, you see in TV, you see in all different walks of life. People, at the end of the day, if they're forced to do something or they're forced in a competition, their egos really show. So I guess sometimes it's just about being humble, being grounded, but also not being afraid to do the most aligned thing, even when it looks like you're doing something totally wrong. Which it's not wrong, but I said it like that so it would kind of be like a mic drop a little bit. Because you all have to follow your lives. You have to follow your alignment. You have to follow your giftings. You have to follow who you are. And a lot of you will be channeling knowledge, and some people are not going to understand it. Some people will walk away from you. Some relationships will walk away from you. And some of you will leave jobs and people won't understand why you're doing this. But the reason and the very fact that you're doing it and that you are here awakening means that you're interconnected and interwoven with your desired reality. That means it's pulling you in many different directions. But the fear and the hatred and the judgment, and sometimes it's not about what's out in the world, but sometimes it's what we're doing. But then it's also out in the world because everybody else is doing it. Does that make sense? Everybody else is like doing this. They're projecting their unhappiness, their needs, their desires, and this and that. And then they don't take a second to stop and just sit still for a second. And that's why it hurts. And that's why they hurt themselves, because they just don't know. They don't understand. But then you have the ability, as a person who's integrated and not a finished product by no means. I don't want you to hear that and think that I'm saying that. But a person that is integrated and has wisdom to give and love to give endlessly, we have the ability to change people's lives. If you have the ability to put someone in a meditative state, that could be the very thing that changes their life. You have the ability to give someone a psychic reading, that's going to change their life. And then the cynicism of skepticism isn't going to be as prevalent. And there's people who manifest greatness and do great things and are anointed by God without doing meditation. But particularly in our field and what we do, if you have the ability to show up to your life and not really give a fuck who's watching, that's another thing. If someone's watching me go live, or if I'm doing my live and somebody's out watching me, or if I'm doing a healing and I look weird, I don't care, because that's God's blessing. And it's like if God told me to get on my hands and knees and speak light language in the middle of the street, I would do that, because that's obedience. That's being led by Source. Being led by Source will allow you to do some things that may seem crazy, that may seem like you're out of your mind, and it may seem like you are just completely in a different realm. And guess what? You are. Some of us are not even going to recognize ourselves in 5 years' time. And that's what's amazing about doing these lives on social media, and understanding that the reason why we do social media, the reason why we make documentaries, the reason why we do what we do is because we're trying to eliminate that fear and that judgment and that hatred that has plagued our societies for so long, our banking systems, the way that we watch television, the way that we live all the time. And even the way that we've gone about relationships, everything in life, we're trying to eliminate that. And the only way to do that is to be the one that stands out among the rest and shines. Shines a light on something, exposes something, putting it out there and allowing everybody to see it for what it is and actually see the truth. And I'm not saying you have to be someone who goes out and protests. That's not what I'm saying. But meaning that you share your gift and you do it unapologetically. Sharing your gift unapologetically, sharing your love unapologetically, doing your gifting unapologetically means that you're wanting to change the world. And you're wanting to show up to your life as if you're meant to be there. And you're just channeling God through your own source. And you don't care if you're ridiculed, if you're the black sheep of the family, or if you're somebody that just really wants to make a very big impact in people's lives. That means you're going to sacrifice a lot of things, but you're sacrificing all of the things that are limiting you at this moment in time. And when we have the ability to share and we have the ability to do the things that we do, and understanding that we are the love and the light and the way, we are the human manifestation of Source. So we are Source manifested in human form, but we're not Source. Source is his own energy, but we are the human manifestation in different configurations of energy as Source. So we have the ability to help people connect, to help people relay. And at the end of the day, if you need to love yourself too, don't forget yourselves. Sometimes we don't give ourselves enough grace in this world. We always are on autopilot, and we're always going and doing this and kids and that and this and that. And we never stop to breathe for a second. But the very fact, if you can take some self-reflection, if you can reflect within yourself and kind of look at all the things that you've done in your life and look at the person that you've become at this moment in time and look at all the things that you had to go through in order to be the person that you are today, and seeing like, wow, I'm still here. And the very fact that you are still here, no matter if you're short, no matter if you're tall, no matter if you're 62 or 21, it doesn't matter. But the very fact that when you awaken, you restart your life again. You have a reboot of the system. So if you had viruses and stuff like that, we just need to install a new hard drive. That's okay. But it's what we're experiencing. It's helping activate that meditative state. Living our life as a guided meditation. That's how we eliminate fear and judgment and hatred. And I'm not saying that you guys are going to be perfect or that you're just going to be flawless and never, have mishaps, and because I do it too. But I think that's helping us with our humanity and balancing our God self. That's what helps us balance our humanity. That's what helps us balance our energies, and that's what helps us find balance within our lives. We need balance. We need harmony. And we need to just give love unapologetically and not have any hesitation towards it. And knowing that Source is pulling us in the direction of where we need to be, and administering and demonstrating and being that example for somebody. I don't think, even sometimes I don't even realize over the past years that I've done this, of how many people I have administered to and helped. You know, I have to take into account that it's been a wild ride so far, but the ride's not over. That's the thing, the ride is not over for any of us. It's a continuous ride, and we don't always get all the answers that we want. But we always do get what we need and what God wants us to have in our lives. And one thing that we can do, the greatest thing that we can do, is to include and exclude everything. Now, it may sound like an oxymoron, but let me just digress here. Including everything is excluding everything that doesn't need to be in your space. So inclusion is exclusion. The polarities of positive and negative. The balancing in of the divine feminine and the masculine energies, the balancing of the light and the dark energies. All of it has symmetry, all of it has meaning, all of it has something to do with what we're trying to project into this awareness. So that was my live, but I'm going to do some healing energy if you guys want to stay apart and take part in this healing energy. I am White Wolf. If you've never been here before, I do 2 lives every day where I do channel messages, meditations, and healings. And I do psychic readings. I do have a private session special for $100, 2 hours for $200. And I do have readings that I will be doing around 8, 9, 10, or 11 p.m. Eastern, doing readings, healings, activations. So if you want to take part in this healing energy that I'm about to do, feel free to do so. And we will connect to our guides, to our higher self, and release the energies of fear, of lack, of hatred, and judgment. Open up. We're going to do the Kundalini energy. We're going to release any judgments, any hatred, any fear, any lack beliefs, and disempowerment. And then rejuvenation, coming back into balance with empowerment. Archangel Michael is going to help you collapse timelines, help you create new dimensional ley lines, and also recalibrate the chakras as well. We're also going to activate new DNA, new thought forms, and we're also going to cleanse the nasal passages in the ears so that we can listen and have our ears ringing. And we're also going to cleanse the throat chakra and also remove any blockages and have an aura cleanse as well. And we're going to put the billion layer protection grid over us. And we're also just going to have the armor of God and psychic protection, activating psychic protection. And if you felt that you've been in poverty for a very long time, just know with this healing that you can cleanse poverty, release it, and send it back and let go of it, and let go of the attachment of it. And we're just shedding the layers of skin, just allowing ourselves to balance the masculine and feminine energies and just shed more layers and layers and layers upon layers of skin, and just tap into the higher self as well, so activating the higher self. And we're going to tap into the dusky pink dragon from Andromeda because it's helping us tap into our galactic chakras. Just feel the power within yourself, resonate from your heart's alignment, your heart's desire, and just emanate from that frequency, emanate from that clarity, and just release more energy. And then now, project everything that you want to manifest, to create, to generate out of yourself. And allowing yourself to just clear any patterns that are coming into your life as well. Allow your presence to overwhelm everything, to overwhelm your expression, to allow yourself to connect to that electromagnetic kinetic source energy, and to really connect to the mind and the body and the spirit, the gut instincts, the heart and the mind, developing the twin heart. And we're also going to tap into the dolphins' energy. They're ninth dimensional beings as well. To tap into prosperity, to tap into love and fulfillment. And Black Panther energy is coming in to help us have ayahuasca within our system without having to have it. And we're just going to transcend the human condition, 5 years. And also, we're going to activate your guides as well. So if you've been having trouble connecting to your guides, we're going to connect with your guides. So be connected with your guides and just connect with the source of energy that you are, with the source of intention, with the source of alignment, and just feeling into the love of the inner child. Tap into that imagination, tap into the innocence, and feel the inseparability and the emptiness and the clarity of you becoming the Oracle of Love, Light, and Wisdom. Everybody take one last deep breath. When I snap my fingers, you'll come back to. You'll have a greater sense of clarity. You will know who you are, and you will become the I Am Presence. And so it is. So, I hope everyone enjoyed that healing energy, and my leg is completely asleep. So, and it's actually getting pretty dark out here. I didn't realize that. But I also have announcements, always announcements. You guys can book private sessions whenever you feel like to. This is White Wolf, 1 hour sessions for $100 for psychic readings, healings, activations. Around 8 or 9, 10, 11 p.m. Eastern, I'll be going live doing readings and healings and activations. So feel free to take part in that. They are donation based, so they are like $22. So just remember that we all are here to give back to the earth. We're here to give love to the earth. We're here to relay to the earth. And we're here to just come back into balance with our true resonance, with our true balancing of energy, with the balancing of the scales, but also in every aspect of our life experientially, whatever we're experiencing in life, and just allowing it to be more balanced, to be more clear and precise, and to live in harmony with that. So this is White Wolf. Thank you guys so much. God bless. Namaste. And until next time, this is White Wolf. Contact me on my TikTok and email, and you can find me on YouTube, White Wolf the Oracle, and Facebook, White Wolf the Oracle. So thank you guys. God bless, and namaste.